step. For example, step number 1, calculate the cost of each sources of financing. This one same with WACC. Okay, kena calculate each of the sources of financing. You need to calculate the cost. Okay, cost of bond, cost of issue bond after tax, and then cost of preferred stock, cost of common stock, and cost of retained earnings. Okay, so you can refer the formula lah if the question asks you to calculate the cost. Okay, and then the second step, step number 2, you need to arrange each cost of sources of financing according to financing limit. Okay, this financing limit they will provide you in the question. Okay, dia akan provide dalam question. So you need to understand and need to identify what is the financing limit for the cost of financing. For the financing limit. So what you need to identify what the financing limit and the cut-off point. Okay, this one we will go further after using. Kita akan gunakan example itulah for our exercise. Okay, later you will see how to calculate or how to identify the financing limit for step number 2. Okay, then next step number 3. Step number 3 also equal with the WACC. Step number 2 punya parts dekat WACC, which is you need to calculate the weightage. Okay, so how to calculate the weightage? From the book value divide by total book value. Kalau you can recall balik exercise or example 1, they provide you the balance sheet kan. Balance sheet, left side is assets and the right side is your liabilities and equities. So that liabilities, you need to focus on the long-term liabilities, which is bond lah ataupun debt. And you need total up with equities. Okay, so kalau balance sheet, they provide you the balance sheet, you need to exclude the current liabilities because current liabilities is focused for the short term. Okay, because our subject now we need to calculate the long term kan. Cost of capital is the long term. This one tengok balik. Before that I need to admit one of your friend want to join. Okay, this long term financing. Okay, long term financing. So the what is long term financing? Debt or bond, preferred stock and common equity. Current liabilities is not included under this part. So that's why example 1, current liabilities we need to exclude. Okay, kita kena keluarkan current liabilities because current refer to the short term, less than 1 year and less than 12 months. Okay, so that's why we need to exclude the current liabilities from your calculation. For step number 3, you need to calculate the weightage kan. So total book value you need to exclude the current liabilities. Okay, which means you just include bond, preferred stock and common stock and return earnings. Okay, if they provide return earnings, you need to include that one. For current liabilities, you need to exclude to calculate the weightage. Okay, and then step number 4, find the breaking point. So how to find the breaking point? The cut-off point for each sources, yang ni depends on the financing limit. You can look at the financing limit, so we'll know. Because each of the sources of financing, they will provide 2 costs. Okay, dekat question tu dia akan provide 2 costs. For bond, 2 costs for preferred stock and another 2 costs for common equity. Okay, so you need to know what is the cut-off point for each of the costs. Okay, that value you need to divide by the weightage, you can get your breaking point. And then step number 5, you need to determine the range of financing based on the breaking points. So you need to rearrange. So let's say breaking point tu you already get in the step number 4. So you kena susun lah daripada the lowest amount to the highest amount. Okay, ascending order, lowest to the highest. So step number 5, just rearrange based on the value of breaking point. And step number 6, each of the range you need to find the WMCC, weighted marginal cost of capital. The methods looks like the same like the WACC, but what are the difference is they provide you the range. Okay, so you need to use each of the range to calculate the WMCC, the cost. Okay, use the range to calculate the cost for each of the project. And then arrange the project according to descending IRR and calculate the accumulated cost. So for each of the question, they will provide you the internal rate of return. So you need to rearrange the internal rate of return for each project depends on the value. Highest to the lowest, descending Kalau tadi ascending, lowest to the highest, descending, highest to the lowest amount. And calculate the accumulated cost. Okay, based on the that descending order, so you need to calculate the cost and accumulated that each of the cost. And the second last step is you need to plot the graph ataupun you need to construct the graph lah, IRR and also WMCC. And the last one, you need to based on the graph, you need to choose the project. Okay, so from that graph, you will identify which project the return more than the cost. Okay, so you need to accept that project. Why you need to accept the project? If the return more than the cost, because if the return more than cost is explained to you that the project is something valuable to the company, so they can get a return, they can get a profit from that project. Okay, compared to the project which is return less than cost, you need to reject the project because that project the cost is exceed the return, so it's loss to the company kan. So that's why you need to choose the project which has a return more than cost. Okay, during the plotting of the graph nanti you akan nampak. Okay, mana project yang exceed the WMCC, and that project you need to choose. Okay, let's move to the calculation parts. Okay, we try to do example number 2. Okay, based on your reference book also. Timberlake incorporated existing capital structure is, so they provide you this information. So kalau ikut this information is the balance sheet kan, balance sheet dekat bahagian left side. Okay, current liabilities, bond, preferred stock and common equity. The book value for current liabilities is 100,000, bond 150,000, preferred stock 50,000 and common equity 300,000. So this is the book value. Okay, this book value you will use if you want to calculate the weightage. Contoh untuk bond nanti 150,000 divide by total book value. But total book value you need to exclude the current liabilities. Sebab current liabilities, the current book is for the short term less than 1 year. So you need to exclude 100. So maksud dia you kena tambah total up 150,000, 50,000 and 300,000 only. These three sahaja these three sahaja you need to total up. Okay, to get the total book value. And then each of the macam bond 150,000 divide by 500,000. Okay, to get the weightage. Same goes preferred stock. 50,000 divide by 500,000 and 300,000 divide by 500,000 to get the weightage value. Dekat step number 3 nanti you buat Okay, and then they also provide the information for the expected rate of return for each of the project. Okay, so the company, they have a 3 project to be selected. Project A, B and C, and the internal rate of return for each project is like this. Project A 10%, Project B 16% and Project C 24%. This is the expected return. And then each of the project also they will have a cost. Okay, for example, Project A 110,000 cost, Project B 600,000 cost, and Project C 900,000 cost. Okay, so this is for your dekat step number 7. Step number 7 you need to rearrange this one, which is you need to descending order kan, rearrange based on the descending order, highest to the lowest. For highest is Project C, second highest Project B, and the lowest is Project A. So you need to arrange dekat step number 7 nanti kita akan buat. Then you need to calculate the accumulated cost. Okay, so beside this, they also provide you the information. Each of the paragraph represent the sources of financing information. Okay, for first paragraph, internally generated retained earnings totaling 120,000. So this is focused on the the common equity information. Okay, so retained earnings cost will be 12%. So they already calculate for you. You just use that cost in step number 1. So kita just ambil dekat step number 1 tu, tak perlu nak calculate lah each of the cost sebab dia dah kira set-set dekat dalam question ni. And then the new common stock cost will be 15%. Okay, 15% is the common stock cost. So this is they already calculate, they already provide you the total cost. So you just rearrange nanti bila kita buat step number 1, step number 2, nanti kita just masukkan dalam table. Okay, untuk nampak cantik dia punya what we call, we need to rearrange the sources of financing and the cost. Okay, and then second paragraph is refer to the preferred stock. Okay, so this one the information is for the preferred stock. A new preferred stock with dividend of 11% can be sold at par. Okay, so kalau par value for preferred stock, how much? Par value for preferred stock. Who want to guess? Siapa nak try? Who want to try? Par value for preferred stock, how much? Kalau bond 1,000 kan? For preferred stock, how much? Siapa nak cuba? Saya panggil nama lah Nurliana. Berapa value of par value for preferred stock? Par value for preferred stock. Hello? Nurliana ada ke dalam ni? Kalau tak ada, saya panggil Luqman Haziq. Luqman Haziq.
100.
Apa tu? Rabiatul Adawiyah?
100.
100. Betul. Betul. Thank you Rabiatul sebab bagi feedback kan. So 100 is the par value for preferred stock. You boleh refer balik dekat you punya notes dalam buku tu, dekat bahagian sini sebab dia kalau tak bagi tahu, dia tak ada provide the value, so you need to use this par value for preferred stock 100. Okay, unless they are stated differently. Kalau dia tak ada bagi tahu information anything, so you need to use 100. Okay, for preferred stock. For bond 1,000, common stock is RM1. Okay, yang ni yang saya masukkan par value for preferred stock. Okay, let's go back to the question. Question is this one. So that the par value 100, and then you need to get the selling price lah kan. Sold at par, maksud dia sold at par, the selling price will be equal with the par value. Maksud dia harga selling price tu adalah 100 lah. Okay, sold at par. Kalau dia kata sold at premium berapa persen, ataupun sold at discount how much percent, so you need to times the par value lah. Okay, tapi kalau dia bagi tahu sold at par, it means that the selling price will be 100, equal with the par value. Okay, for the first 100,000, a preferred stock, the flotation cost will be RM4, and for more than 100,000, the flotation cost will be increased to RM8. So this one, they provide you the each of the, kalau ikut formula preferred stock tu dia bagi information, so you need to calculate. So second paragraph ni you need to calculate to find the cost for preferred stock. Untuk yang first paragraph ni dia dah provide to you kan the cost, so tak perlu nak kira. Untuk second paragraph ni you need to calculate based on the formula for preferred stock, which is dividend times the par value, and then divide by selling price minus flotation cost. So this formula you need to use to calculate the cost for preferred stock. Okay, so apa lagi information on the question? Okay, so you need to provide two costs lah. One cost if the value or the financing less than 100, another one cost if the value more than 100,000. Okay, so you need to calculate the cost of preferred stock. So dia punya perbezaan dekat flotation cost sahaja. Flotation cost dia RM4 and RM8. And then the last paragraph is refer to the debt or bond. Macam ni kan dia bagi tahu for debt financing, the first 240,000 that can be sold at the end after tax cost, which is KBAT kan, cost of issuing bond after tax, KBAT. So they provide you the cost value, no need to calculate lah. Okay, 10.5%, and if the cost more than if the financing more than 240,000, the cost will be 13.25%. Okay, so you just need to arrange dalam table. Tak perlu nak kira sebab dia dah bagi dalam question. The marginal tax rate is 50%. Find the breaking point for each component of capital. Calculate the weighted marginal cost of capital for each range of financing. And construct the weighted marginal cost of capital curve. You need to plot the graph lah. And conclude, which means that you need to make a decision which project need to be accepted. Okay, and why. So let's move to our whiteboard. Kita buat sama-sama lah the calculation parts. So whiteboard. Okay, so today date is 25. Okay, so this is class 4C, WMCC. Okay, we do the example 2. Okay, example 2, kita buat step by step. Step number 1, you need to calculate the cost for each EACH. Sources of financing. Okay, untuk kita biasa buat debt dulu kan, debt ataupun bond. So kita buat debt dululah, debt or bond. Okay, so they already provide you the information. Dia ada dua cost kan. Cost number 1 is how much? Kat buku, 13 point. Example 2. Okay, so you can refer to paragraph number 3. Paragraph 3. Okay, kita nak tengok bond punya cost ataupun debt punya cost. The first cost will be 10.5%. Then the second cost will be 13.25%. So this is cost. This is the sources. Okay. Then how about the preferred stock? Number 2, preferred stock. Okay, so you need to calculate KP, dividend rate times par value, divide selling price minus flotation cost. Okay, so dividend rate is 11%. Times par value for preferred stock is 100. Selling price sold at par, which means the value for selling price is equals to par value. So we'll start 100. Flotation cost RM4. Okay, so this is for the first cost. First cost. So 11% times 100. 0.11 times 100 equivalent to 11. 100 minus 4, 96. So 11 divided by 96 equivalent to 0.11458. 0.11458 or times 100, 11.46%. Okay, to decimal point. So this is the first cost. And then the second cost, dia ada bagi tahu kalau sekian-sekian financing limit dia, so the flotation cost is RM8. So you need to calculate. KP 11% times 100, same. 100 minus 8. Okay, so 11 divided by 92. 0.11956 or times 100, 11.96%. Okay, to decimal point. So this is for preferred stock. And then the third one is your common equity. Okay, common equity, they provide you two costs. One is the KRE, which is, yang ni dekat the first paragraph. Okay, the information in the first paragraph. Okay, preferred stock tadi dekat paragraph number 2. Paragraph number 2. Okay, so the first paragraph, KRE, cost of retained earnings will be 12%. And the new common stock, KCS, will be 15%. Okay, so they use two types of cost, which is retained earnings and also common stock. Okay, so this is the first step. So kalau dia tak provide you this cost, macam ni dia tak provide you, so you need to calculate. Okay, contoh dia ada bagi gross rate, expected dividend, you need to calculate lah to find the KCS first, and then after that only you find the cost of retained earnings. Macam ni dia provide, so kita just extract the information, keluarkan. Step number 1. Step number 2, the description is arrange each cost of sources of financing according to financing limit. Arrange each cost source of financing according to financing limit. Okay, arrange. So how to arrange? Kita kena buat table lah. Okay, sources. First is debt or bond. And then what is the financing limit dia? Okay, kita tengok dalam question tadi for first paragraph, untuk bond or debt dekat third paragraph. Okay, for the first 240,000. Okay, first 240,000, so means 0 to 240,000. Okay, so the cost will be 10.5%. So this is the cost. Kena buat table lah, construct table. 0 to 240,000, the cost will be 10.5%. Okay, more than 240,000, the cost will be reached to 13.25%. Okay, so this is debt or bond. The second one, preferred stock. Okay, baca paragraph tu For the first 100,000, so 0 to 100,000, okay, the cost will be, you already calculate above dekat step number 1 tadi, so just keluarkan information tadi, 11.46. The cost will be 11.46%. Okay, more than 100,000, 11.96%. Then number 3 will be your common equity. 0 to, okay, tengok first paragraph totaling 120,000. So 0 to 120,000. So the cost will be 12%, and more than 120,000, the cost will be 15%. So this is step number 2. Maksud you kena buat macam ni sebab this information is important because you need to refer this table nanti bila kita nak kira cost WMCC nanti, this table will be referred. Okay, step number 2. We buat cantik-cantik lah, buat table, garisan, column, each of the column and row we need to line. Okay, ada dia punya garisan lah, dia punya table. That's step number 2. And then step number 3, calculate the breaking point, the weightage. Calculate the weightage. Okay, weightage. So how to calculate the weightage? First one, bond ataupun debt, BV divided by total BV. Yang ni you can refer from the question. For bond or debt tadi dia bagi bond 150,000 divided by total of book value which is 500,000. Okay, so 150 divided by 500,000 will be 0.3 or 30%. Okay, so this is the weightage. And then the second one, what we call preferred stock. 50,000 divided by 500. Okay, so 50 divided by 500,000 equivalent to 0.1 or 10%. Okay, so this is weightage for preferred stock. And the third one is your common equity. 300,000 divided by 500,000. So 300 divided by 500,000 equivalent to 0.6 or 60%. Okay, so based on this weightage, you can do double check. Just buat pengiraan total of this weightage, they must be equals to, kalau in point, it must be 1.0. Kalau bentuk percentage, it must be, total must be 100%. Okay, kalau tak cukup either 1 or 100, something wrong lah with your calculation. Okay, dia mesti genap either 1.0 or 100. So this is your double check lah, kalau boleh buat double check untuk tengok weightage. Okay, so they have I would like to ask you all kenapa you all exclude the current liabilities? Tadi saya ada bagi penerangan kan, why you need to exclude the current liabilities? Ada siapa-siapa nak jawab kenapa kita kena exclude current liabilities in total book value? Siapa saya nak tanya ni? Umi Toibah? Kenapa we need to exclude current liabilities to calculate the total book value? Umi okey ke? Umi? Boleh dengar ke Umi? Ataupun saya tanya Hafizuddin?
Sebab liability tu dia punya short term kot.
Betul, yes. Correct. Okay, thank you Hafizuddin for your feedback. Okay, so that's correct. Current liabilities is for short term financing. Kalau you all, I think masa you all form primary school, bukan primary school, secondary school kan, you all ada belajar prinsip account. Kalau ada ambil kelas account lah, kalau ambil aliran account, so you ada belajar kunci kira-kira kan. So you boleh identify the item for current liabilities. That one is the short term. Okay, less than 1 year ataupun maximum pun 12 months. So that's focusing on the short term, tempoh jangka masa pendek. For this part, chapter 5 ni we focus on the long term financing, which is more than 1 year. And current liabilities is not included under that part. Okay, so we just focus on the long term liabilities and also equities. Alright, so kita just proceed but before that, okay, until step number 3 ni you all clear tak? You all faham tak sampai step number 3? Sebelum kita proceed to next step number 4. Sampai pengiraan weightage ni you all okay ke? Faham tak? Kalau tak faham, jangan segan-segan bagi tahu kan.
Faham.
Faham. Okay, thank you Raliatul. Alright, tak apa, kita just proceed Nanti yang mana tak faham tu, you boleh personal WhatsApp saya ke macam mana. Okay, kalau segan nak bagi tahu sekarang. Okay, next step number 4. Okay, so what you need to do, step number 4, you need to calculate the breaking point. Find the breaking point. So how to calculate the breaking point? BP equivalent to cut off point, POINT, divide by weightage yang you dapat tadi dekat step number 3. Okay, so how to get this cut off point? Dekat step number 2 tadi, this one, step number 2, each of the sources of financing, debt, preferred stock and common equity, they have a 2 cost kan? Ada 2 cost. So what is separate these 2 costs? Dia punya cut off point. This will be your cut off point. Okay, kawan and this will be your cut off point for preferred stock. And for common equity, 120,000 will be your cut off point. So why I said that, okay, 0 to 240,000. Okay, so the cost will be 10.5%. And for 13.25% cost, it's for more than 240. Maybe they will start with 240,001 kan. So cut off point dia punya tempoh hard limit dia sampai 240,000. Okay, 240,000. Next one they already exceed kan. So that separate these 2 costs lah. Same goes to preferred stock and common equity. So this will be your cut off point. Okay, so take that value to calculate the breaking point. So breaking point for bond or debt will be how much? Tadi kita kira apa? 240,000 kan? 240,000 divided by 0.3 ataupun 30%. So you calculate 240 divided by 0.3, 800,000. Okay, so this is the breaking point for bond or debt. Next one, breaking point for preferred stock. How much? 100,000 kan? This one 100,000 divided by 0.1. 0.1 equivalent to 1 million. Okay, so breaking point for common equity. How much? 120,000 divided by 0.6. Equivalent to 200,000. Okay, so this is breaking point. Step number 4. Okay, so dah dapat breaking point ni, you need to rearrange. Okay, rearrange this breaking point to come up with the range lah. So kena come up with using the ascending order kan, daripada lowest to the highest. Daripada sini you boleh identify what is the lowest amount. The lowest amount, kita tukar warna merah Okay, the lowest amount, this is the first one, lowest, second lowest, and the highest. Okay, so 200,000, 800,000 and 1 million. Because dekat step number 5 nanti, you need to buat ataupun rearrange this breaking point. Okay, step number 5. Okay, the exact description under step number 5, determine the range of financing based on the breaking point. Okay, determine the range of financing based on the breaking point. Okay, so how to determine the range? Daripada tadi lah, you ascending order kan, lowest to the highest. Lowest to the highest. So the first range, but you need to determine the range. Determine the range. The first range must be start with 0 to 200,000. Why 200,000? Because this is the lowest. Okay, and then the second range from 200,000 to 800,000. You kena ambil amount yang ni, bawa ke bawah, and then until what limit? Until 800,000. Why 800,000? Because these are the second lowest. Okay, or the second highest. But dia ada 3 saja kan. Okay, then the third range from 800,000 to 1 million. Okay, and then the last range, which is the 8th range, more than 1 million. So this is the range. Okay, step number 5, you need to identify the range. And step number 6, you need to calculate WMCC. Okay, find the WMCC for each range of financing. Okay, find the WMCC for each range of financing. Kita try buat first range from 0 to 200,000. So how to get this amount? Daripada step number 5 tadi lah. Daripada sini. Okay, daripada sini you all masukkan dekat bahagian bawah ni. The first range must be start from 0 to 200,000. Okay, so you calculate the WMCC. You need to construct the table sources, debt or bond, preferred stock, common equity, and then weightage. Weightage for each sources of financing. Debt will be 0.3, preferred stock 0.1, and common equity 0.6. Okay, and this is RM. Dia must be start. Kalau first range, dia mesti start with 0. Preferred debt 0, preferred stock start with 0, and common equity must be start with 0. So until what limit? So nak identify what limit, so you need to calculate. From this 200,000, you calculate the weightage. Okay, debt 0.3, preferred stock 0.1, common equity 0.6. Okay, so you need to times 200,000 times this value in order to get this value. Okay, so kita times 200,000 times 0.3, 60,000. Okay, step number not step dekat preferred stock 0.1 times 200,000 equivalent to 20,000, and 0.6 times 200,000 equivalent to 120,000. So this amount you need to include here. Okay, you need to insert here 0 to 60,000, preferred stock 0 to 20,000, and common equity 0 to 120,000. So why you need to put this range? Because you need to identify their cost. Okay, the first range, what is the cost? Untuk identify the cost ni, you need to refer step number 2 punya table. Okay, look back at step number 2. Tengok baik satu ni, tengok debt or bond dulu. 0 to 60,000, what is the cost? 0 to 60,000. Step number 2. This one 0 to 60,000. 60,000 still within the range of 240,000. So the cost must be 10.5. First range. Okay, 10.5. And then for preferred stock, kalau you tengok balik, kalau you ada salin tadi kan, 0 to 20,000. Okay, 0 to 20,000. This one 0 to 20,000. So the cost must be the first cost for preferred stock lah. Okay, 20,000 is still within this range, so you need to use 11.46%. And common equity 0 to 120,000 still within this range, so you need to use 12%. Okay, cost. Sebab kita nak kira weighted cost nanti, so we need to identify the cost. Okay, each of the range tu dia ada different cost. Okay, so you need to identify based on step number 2 table. So kita jot down the cost for bond will be, so saya refer table number 2 10.5%, 11.46%, and the last one will be 12%. So this is the cost, and you need to calculate the weighted times cost. Weighted cost lah, weightage times cost. So 0.3 times 10.5%, how much? 0.1 times 11.46%, how much? And 0.6 times 12%, how much? Okay, 0.3 times 10.5 equivalent to 3.15%. 0.1 times 11.46, 1.146%. 0.6 times 12, 7.2%. Okay, 7.2 plus 1.146 plus 3.15. Okay, total 11.496%. So this is WMCC, the cost for first range. The cost or WMCC for the first range. Okay, and then you need to do second range, third range and fourth range. Sama juga konsep dia macam ni. Okay. Second range, I think we stop until second range then kita continue by tomorrow. Second range from 200,000 to 800,000. So how to get this value? Daripada step number 5. This one. Okay, 200,000 to 800,000. Same concept, kita construct table. Sources, bond or debt, preferred stock, common equity. And then this will be your weightage. 0.3, 0.1, 0.6. And then this one is RM lah. Okay, RM, what value need to be start? Daripada atas ni lah. Then 60,000, 20,000 and 120,000. Okay, you put at the beginning 20,000 and 120,000. Okay, so for this value, how to get this value? You need to calculate. You need to times 800,000 times the weightage, each of the sources of financing. 0.3, 0.1, 0.6. Debt ataupun bond, preferred stock, and also common equity. Okay, so you need to times. Kira 800,000 times 0.3, how much you get? Times 0.3, 240,000. This one 80,000 0.6 times 800, 480,000. Okay, so this will be the value. Amount yang you dapat ni you masukkan dekat dia punya financial limit. Okay, 60,000 to 240,000 because this is the second range and then 20,000 to 80,000, 120,000 to 480,000. Next, you need to identify the cost. Okay, how to get the cost from step number 2, table number 2. Kat table number 2, dekat table at step number 2. Okay, you need to identify lah. Contoh macam bond or debt tadi, 60,000 to 240,000. I think this still under the first cost, kan? Under the first range. Okay, step number 2 bawah. Okay, this one. Silakan sikit. Okay, step number 2, 60 to 240 kan? So they are still within this range. Okay, so the second range still cost number 1. Okay, preferred stock. Preferred stock, kita calculate tadi berapa? How much? 80,000 kan? 20,000 to 80,000. So within 100,000. So still dekat dalam cost number 1. Cost number 1, how much? 11.46. This, okay. So they still within the this cost, which is the first cost 11.46, and then the third one, which is the common equity. Common equity 120,000 to 480,000. Dia dah pass, dia exceed 120. Exceed 120, so they will refer to the second cost for common equity. The second cost. Ni kan dia dah exceed 120 sebab dia 120 to 480. So dia adalah dekat second cost. Second cost. So we need to use this cost to calculate the weighted cost nanti dekat second range tu. So just salin put or insert the value to the table kat bahagian cost tadi. So this will be 10.5%, 11.46%. This one will be 15. Okay, so yang ni yang menyebabkan dia different dengan first range. Kalau ikut first range tadi 12% kan. Okay, 12%. So yang ni dia different. Sebab dia punya range exceed already 120,000. So then you calculate your weighted cost. 0.3 times 10.5%, 0.1 times 11.46%, 0.6 times 15%. $3.15, same value lah macam tadi kan, and then this one will be 1.146%. $0.6 times 15. Okay, so this will be 9%. So you total up, you get your WMCC for the second range. 3.15 plus 1.146 plus 9. 13.296%. Okay, so we end up until this part kita habiskan kelas kita sampai this part lah, second range. Tomorrow we will continue on the third range and the fourth range and the next step lah. Okay, so far you all have any question to ask until this part, sampai dekat part yang to calculate this WMCC? step number 6 kan. Step number 6 tapi tak complete lagi. Step number 6 ni. Dia ada tag range and fault range. Okay, so far have any question? Before we end up our class, besok kita sambung. Okay, kalau tak ada apa-apa, if no question, kita habis sampai sini lah kita punya topik. I have one announcement For tonight you will have your midterm test. Okay, for this subject, Finance 320, Financial Analysis. They will have 8 question, ada 8 question, ada 8 soalan. 5 question is multiple choice question. Kalau multiple choice question ni is the theory lah. Okay, soalan teori, 5 soalan, and another 3 will be your calculation. Okay, calculation. So chapter yang include under this midterm test will be chapter 1, chapter 2 and chapter 4. Chapter 1 teori yang you all belajar pasal finance function of finance manager, and what is the financial market, okay, primary and secondary market and so on. And then chapter 2 your depreciation. Ada 3 method of depreciation, straight line method, double declining balance method and sum of the digit method. And then you calculate your tax liability, how to get the tax liability. And the last chapter, so which is chapter 4, the risk and return. Okay, the one that you done your tutorial, risk and return last week. Okay, so that one will be your question, the chapter for your midterm test. Okay, we will start by 8:30. You need to use your U-Future platform because we do the kita buat serentak. Okay, serentak dengan kelas-kelas yang lain. So kita buat waktu malam 8:30, 8:30 until 10 PM. Okay, soalan mudah. So kalau you within half an hour you dah complete, so you just submit. Okay, semua soalan kena jawab dalam tu. And then untuk bahagian calculation tu, you just write in your piece of paper, tulis dalam kertas A4, then you need to convert to PDF, you upload in your U-Future platform. Jangan buat dalam Word, jangan buat dalam JPEG ataupun any photo punya format. I nak you all convert to PDF. Sekarang dah ada apps kan, phone semua masing-masing dah canggih, so you boleh download scanner punya apps, you boleh convert from photo to PDF. Okay, so convert to PDF before you upload in your U-Future platform untuk soalan calculation. Untuk soalan objektif, you can answer from your U-Future platform directly. Okay, so far any question? We got your midterm test?
Sir, kalau PDF kan